Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Ryan Dins, and on today's episode, I just want to talk for a minute about how undervalued AT&T and Verizon are right now compared to the market, which is completely overextended. And so I'm just going to give you a few key reasons why I think that they're good buys right now, especially with the high dividends. So let's go! AT&T has a price to earnings ratio right now of 9.11. That is absurd. That is insanely undervalued. Just in comparison, Microsoft and Apple are in the 30s. I think they're around 35-ish. I haven't checked, but that's just going off the top of my head. That is the norm for, some of the more popular tech stocks, some of the more popular growth stocks. I try to not touch things over 25 unless I think they have long-term growth. That's why sometimes I'll make the exception with Apple and Microsoft. But when you see something under 15, you gotta know that is very, very undervalued. T's PE ratio is 9.11 and Verizon's is about 13.2 right now. And the PE ratio is a good way of deciding whether the stocks are overbought. That is what I use that a lot for. Now there's a lot of other factors. Some people might say, oh well, T's got a lot of debt, but everyone still has cell phones. So Verizon and AT&T, they're recession proof. People are going to need these things. They're necessities of life, and I don't see these companies going anywhere. Both of them are good buys. Verizon has a little bit more growth potential long term because AT&T's been around for a while, and Verizon seems to be coming up quickly. So Verizon, they have their Verizon Fios with the TV, which everyone uses. So that's also popular. They both have good dividends too. Verizon's about 4.5% dividend yield, and AT&T is about 7.2% dividend yield, which means that in AT&T's situation, if you buy $100,000 worth in a year, you're gonna get about $7,200 in dividends every year, just paid to you every 3 months. So if you were gonna retire right now, I know this isn't gonna apply to a lot of you, but say you did have $1 million, you could just buy $1 million worth of T. I wouldn't recommend that. I'd recommend diversifying, but you could buy that and just get $72,000 a year, minus taxes for the rest of your life. And that'll grow if you don't spend it all. So say you only spend half of it, then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you got $1.5 million, and then it's worth more. So that is what I'm doing right now. I'm holding these for a while. With AT&T being around 29 right now, if it does shoot up back to 40, I will sell about half of my position. I like to buy and hold forever. I'm one of those long-term dividend investors, but if you look at the chart, it has been going up. And anytime it has a big run, it seems to come back down. So, if it goes to 40-ish, I'll sell half, take the profit, and then ride out the other half and see what happens. I like to look at my charts and I like to put in trend lines. Both of these companies have been trending upward for years. Especially when I look at the weekly chart, you can see they are both close to the line. T, quite honestly, is a little bit better of a buy if you're looking strictly at trend lines because it is right on that trend line. It dipped below it but then came right past it, so you can see that the support is there. Either of these stocks I think are good buys. I think they're long-term good buys, and I think they're great for dividend investors. A good strategy also would be, if you had a lot of money, would be buy a lot of AT&T right now and take the dividends you get from that and then buy other stocks and use that as an extra source of income to grow your portfolio and then buy other stocks with that. That's also a good strategy. I'm personally not doing that because I only have a few $1,000s worth of AT&T and I only got a few $100s worth of Verizon, so it wouldn't be worth it just to count on the dividends, but it is nice to have them. The other day I got a dividend payment from AT&T for over $20, and that, it's nice. It was one of my biggest dividends because I've just started. I only have about $11,000 in my portfolio right now, so my dividend payments are not going to be crazy, especially I'm so diversified. I own about 22 positions. I get these dividends every now and then I usually put them on drip so that it continues to just buy the same stock over and over again and continue to grow, continue to build my wealth. This year has been a very good year. I'm up over 10% for the year. It's looking pretty good. And I'm just going to continue to hold these safe dividend stocks. And I just think that, in summary of this entire video, most stocks are very overbought. Everyone's going for the hyped ones. Everyone's going for your Microsoft. Everyone's going for your Apple. Even stocks like O Realty, which is a good stock, I even feel that's a little high right now. AbbVie, I love that stock, but people have been buying that like crazy. And AT&T and Verizon haven't really been going up. They're the only ones. And you might say, oh, well, maybe they're not as hot. Maybe they're not as good stocks. But if you look at the fundamentals, yes, AT&T does have a debt problem, but these have been staples in American society. Not to mention being a dividend king, like that's pretty big. Look into both of these stocks. They're very stable, especially if you don't want to take big risks. So that's the video for this week. Enjoy, and make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Woo! 1, buy some stocks with me. 2, reinvest next week. 3, strip those dividends, and that is how you get rich, my friend. 4, repeat steps 1 through 3. 5, that's how you will get rich with me. And if I ever believe my stock buying's done, then I'll start back at 1. And that's how you do it. All you have to do is every single week buy some stocks, then you take the dividends, put it on drip so it reinvests the dividends for you. Put a good portion of your income into this every week. I would say at least 30%, over 50% is optimal, and then retire in 10 to 20 years. It's that simple. And I just wanted to make a beautiful song to show you all how simple it is. Now make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, because we'll have many, many magical moments of wealth, abundance, and fine music to come.